chillin' with all of my cats. Oh yeah. Put the whole world on the map. Flex, pull on the side of the cricket. You see that I got me a tail on my back. I get the area, switch up the area, holding the tail with the cats. I was in heaven and then I fell deep inside of the hell that came back. Oh yeah. They was just selling so fast. Over the water, my leg got invested. I don't wanna dwell on the past. Slipping and falling, don't know the terrain. You know that you fell on your ass. Agents, they coming in all the disguises. You think I can't tell us a mask? Oh yeah. Don't give a fuck, no give a shit. North American shit. Don't give a fuck, Norwegian shit. Baby girl, please don't trip. If you trying to catch my nigga, yeah. You can just suck my dick. Or else I really don't need it, yeah. Never be alone. My cabin need to go. Please don't make me have to ask what happened to your soul. You can take a creep with me, nobody has to know. Keep on acting weird and airy, bitch, you have to go. Oh, yeah, fucking crazy. Yeah, I was born on water. Straight out the motherland, this is WURLDIAH, but she is more like my daughter. Put on your neck, I'm a mainstream uncle, but I'm the landlord and the father. You hear this RTV, you give me fever, but I get up on no toddlers. Oh, yeah. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Chillin' with all of my cats. Oh, yeah. I just thought that you should know. Soon as you stepped up off that boat, everything you see unusual. Girl, don't go nowhere, you got me asking where that Gucci go. You can't trust no bitch that's living, but I hope you prove me wrong. All this cars flash, baby, I'm the one they choose to home. Just the pilot, man, baby, I'm the one that flew you home. Treat you like Macaulay Culkin, cause I know that you alone. I ain't never been around, yeah, but here all I do is wrong. Please don't start to raise your tongue, yeah, cause all the shit you be on. Got me asking where you sell, yeah, your body might lose your dome. Not who's there, nobody home. I done knocked on every bell, yeah, it's something like 12 of them. You can take your ass to hell with them. To this stuff you feel like him. Can't tell me where you'll be buried. Should have been crazy producing like Barry. It might remind you of movies that's scary. Don't gotta lose you a two-part carry. We not gonna be judged to the vanity. Say nothing bigger than yo, girl. Oh, I am the center of the whole world. I'm a new WURLDIAH. Yeah, I was born on water. Straight out the motherland. This is WURLDIAH, but she is more like my daughter. Put on your neck, I'm a mainstream uncle, but I'm the landlord and the father. You hear this RTV, you give me fever, but I get up on no toddlers. Oh, yeah. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Should I be better than every day? Grab me up. Chillin' with all of my cats. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know my flesh is in the soil. Blood is in the river. Box in the air. Be about it here. Into that internal vision, on that vision quest, all I see is fire. Forming a circle.
Oh, put on that. Get mad at air, yeah. Now, we're going to talk about the spectrum. I ain't going to be that long. But we're going to talk about the spectrum and the circumstance that we get ready to go into. And what you're going to see the lead up play as we're going and experiencing 2026. So 2027, there's going to have to be a whole new frame, a whole new grounding, a whole new base for what we considering the entertainment business. During the lead up, there's been a lot of faulty practices and things already, and falliness, and this may work, this may not work, throwing A's against the wall to see what sticks. Some may stick here, some may not stick there, but for the most part, it's a free fall. Even if you're throwing a bunch of A's against the wall and some stick, doesn't necessarily mean it's the yoke still going to be on the wall next week. So this is where you may jump into things like virtue signaling, and you may go too far. Now you plan out crash out energies, and where your career could have been due to the fact of the industry and the foundation that supports it as far as platforming and stuff like that. That might not be something you can fall on, and you might be in a Sonic or a Tails position and you fall on a spike, aka lose all your coins, and not put yourself in a position where you can substantiate yourself to recoup. So you have to be careful what you're utilizing your character for. You know what I'm saying? And we can see small instances of it when we got people like Timberland. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with it is something wrong with AI, just how you do it. The way Timberland is doing it, him having his influence, his character, back and supporting it, and it playing out negative in other areas that ain't got nothing to do with that can actually prevent him from getting the maximum percentage scale of whatever value he had towards records, all the way to the point we already got individuals beyond me saying half of the Timberland, 90% of Timberland records ain't got nothing to do with them. Yeah, you might have wrote the beat, but the vocals was the best. Missy was the best or whatever. Even though we being sarcastic a lot of times and things of that nature, you know, shout out to Timberland. He did make good beats. But what I'm saying, this is an example of seeing a small instance of what I'm getting ready to talk about, because I'm wide range as a spirit. And if you're a person that like to get your 1-2 together, this is the type of stuff you should be hearing also and things of that nature. Because, you know, even though I speak spiritual, is always relating to the physical, and you're able to see what you already physically doing in a better perspective, and you can stop any negative influences in its track to prevent you from actually going forward with whatever creative talent you got. Therefore, like, for an example, we use Timberland for an example again. He had known not to be trying to use so much of his influence on a percentage scale to talk about the topic or subject matter of AI. You know, he might gotta balance it out a little bit. Hey, let me go do, or at least if he got a smart handler, because if I was his handler, Timberland wouldn't even have that rhetoric anymore. And there's a lot of other people I could use as an example, but right now he may need to balance it out, start doing a bunch of interviews and stuff like that ain't got nothing to do with AI. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do an interview about memories of being in the studio with Aaliyah. Ooh, that'll get us. It won't get me, but I understand what's going on, so I'm not going to be the person that virtue signal because I'm trying to get lit online. I don't play them type of games. If that's your way of getting money, I don't stop people from getting money. Now, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I sit back and watch it. However, I separate from what I know and put the entertainment part there, and however you do it is still respected in the spiritual world anyway. So never think about it like that. You ain't got to never worry about a channel like mine's wasting their time every day talking about you to put you in a negative light. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Even if y'all look at that like y'all that's y'all job and duty or not, I'm still a man. I'm still an individual. So I still need something to represent me. I don't want my whole manly life people going back and see I ain't did nothing but talk about other sweaty nuts. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But maybe you should do a bunch of interviews. One about how was the presence in the studio with Aaliyah, then one with Missy Elliott, then how does it feel to sell that much records in your area? Were they from Virginia or something like that? In your area, or however the case may be, or whatever. Before you know it, we too distracted. We'll forget the AI. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be smaller on a percentage scale. And if you go ahead and work it right, when you do it, it'll get more grace than the reciprocation that it's getting currently and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? So this is just minor starting points and things to point to so we can be aware of what's come to be when it comes to if you want to get your 1-2 together, and why you may be even already currently experiencing it being a little hard to get into the entertainment business and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? You might be in a situation where, especially like content creators like me and stuff like that, we did over the extreme, overboard on anything it takes to, back in the day, that's what it took to get signed. That's what it took to get known. We're from a situation where people in this situation is in the new age, and they have to copy individuals that's drastically creating new ways for them to get known. So it can't be looked at as this what a person did to get known. It got to be looked at as, oh, this is what the world is in right now. Oh, you get on YouTube. Oh, you create a podcast. Oh, you could talk in your basement, your car. You know what I'm saying? So this is another failure of the industry, because the industry doesn't have a supporting system that people can look forward to, and the industry itself only looks forward to people who created something for them to be known in all their attributes, not something that the world is just saying at the moment. And you see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when it comes into 2026, even if you are in the industry or you're trying to get into it, you're going to see like a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? Especially in those areas that once was open and fruitful, and there's no checks to be handed there anymore. Or there's not a lot of people that give it motivation to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? What do I mean by that? You can look at A&Rs right now. There's a lot of A&Rs, or who were A&Rs, looking at other areas and things of that nature, and not looking at that specific area because there's not a bunch of other people wasting their time. And they got a lot of justifications. Oh, yeah, maybe this artist. I don't like dealing with this kind of artist, or this, that. However the case it may be. But it's just showing you that there's not either money, enough people to motivate for small pockets that was once important to be fluid right now for individuals to look at like it's something to look forward to when you want to participate in these type of things. So when we start to talk about the entertainment business itself, this is something that is going to go through naturally, not something like me, you, or anybody else is going to start doing, and that's what tears it down. That's what destroys it. This thing is inevitable due to the fact of how we have to interact right now and what does it take for anyone to be someone. And for the most part, the way people are doing things, and they're even being better than people in the industry already, there's going to have to be something created around that to substantiate it, or things going to continue to be inflated to it. There's nothing there anymore, all the way to inflating numbers and inflating individuals to get fake checks and stuff like that. Because YouTube at this point also is giving people fake checks, especially when it comes to utilizing individuals like shields and agents and stuff like that. So some of these people look just like you from your background or next door neighbor quality, backyard, other street quality, and things of that nature, similar influence of people that you went to school with and stuff like that. No matter if y'all 10, 5, 7 years in between or older or younger, but for the most part, pardon me, a lot of these individuals are being put in a position for other alternative circumstances that really ain't got nothing to do with the money. And then YouTube is about monetization and the money. So you can't keep inflating that when it don't lead to anything that got anything to do with what we're on YouTube in the first place for. And it's just for talking points or whatever. So we're paying for talking points, not getting no residuals back from it, at least shields. So for the most part, YouTube not going to continue to do that either. You know what I'm saying? But we in a situation where there's have to be a new substantiated foundation of how stars are being born, or there's going to be no more stars. And when it comes into the entertainment business, the stars that's already there are not going to be no form of influence for them to be able to recoup anything that they have put themselves into as far as signing contracts and legalities and terms and conditions. So for the most part, there's going to be a whole open wide gate on how do we make something lit that it could have some new motivation or attraction towards it to accumulate more consumers or people to give attention to it, even if we have to transmute what being a consumer is streaming or watch hours or something like that and things of that nature as far as attention. And so that's going to be the main thing that anybody at a round table, whether you got your own round table, you're trying to substantiate your business, or people who conducting on how online and a direction is going to go, and relating it to people that has to deal with the music industry and stuff like that. Because I think what Leor Cohen or somebody like that is involved in the music sector on YouTube and stuff like that. So when it comes to these individuals, it's important for them to go ahead and find some creative directors in some way, shape, or form. If y'all ain't already got them, but if you already got them, the way y'all been substantiating it been backfiring. So there's going to be a situation where the entertainment business itself is going to smear over, or is going to look synthetic in general, and then it's going to be put into a situation where people are looking for personalities, and a personality could vary. Personality could jump in the lane of musician, comedian, orator, depending on their intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But we have a lot of streamers out right now that have been put out here and kind of already dried up the energy. If that was going to be the new tactic, hey, find somebody in the regular area, and they would kind of be more in a perspective of what already got destroyed and be put in the lens of damage control when it comes to streamers. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to streamers and things of that nature, right, there's already a perspective of what people may not want because it look kind of weird. It look influenced. It look like it's backed by something or whatever the case. And whatever is backed by, the average individual from the hood or the suburbs look at these things like those are not accesses that they have. You know what I'm saying? They don't have access to those type of things of that nature. So it's almost like it don't matter how it look or how much money it's making. I don't care to do it. Even if I had an opportunity to do it, I want to do something in my way that I can still be more comfortable without that weird pressure of having to obtain something that I know 90% of it ain't stuff that I genuinely like to do. You can kind of look at Kakanat right now or whatever the case may be, even though that's a little psyop, but it's still a psyop towards what can actually be real. You know what I'm saying? When a person get involved into something, regardless of streaming, it could be race car or whatever the case may be, and depending on them in it, based upon the validation of pleasing other individuals, they start to find little pockets where, hey, I just want to be a clothes designer for a second, or hey, I just want to do this type of rollerblade for a second, or hey, I want to take care of animals for a second. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But it's just giving y'all examples of what I'm trying to point to. Hold on, y'all got to use the restroom for a second. So right now, it's important to be you. You know what I'm saying? It's important to be you in some way, shape, or form, because that's what's going to be developed and that's what's going to attract individuals. Now, here's the thing, right? When it comes to being an entertainer, right, it's going to slowly but surely separate from being an entertainer and just being a personality based upon everybody that shares similar circumstances, and you look like a foundation to something that they're going through or whatever the case may be, without it being filtered through the entertainment due to the fact of everybody online or however. And then when you got people in the entertainment industry participating with online and stuff like that, that blurs the line on expectation or where you think you're going to go or being excited to join something or whatever the case may be, because you start to feel like you're on your own, and whatever world that you was striving for is no longer there, and everybody who's already in it is doing something that you're doing. So for the most part, it's going to get into more personality. And here's the thing, personality based on location. And when it starts to develop that true grassroots creativity and stuff like that, this also is like, now I don't want to put God in this or whatever the case may be, but whatever you believe in, whatever, right? There can't be too much of one thing without the extreme opposite being played out by default. So let's say you like a liar or manipulator, and you might have got your way a couple times. So let's say you come up with something that you think no one else thought of. It's something in the world, and if you a person, eventually it'll start to filter through another person that's on that complete opposite path that ain't got nothing to do with your thought process, but it's just the way things is. The thing that they develop their thought processes about is completely opposite to yours. And where you think you will get over, you will meet that person and not get over. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that. So look at it like this and put it in the music industry business concept. You know how it might be a situation where, even like talking about Timberland a little bit, there may be a discussion where people saying, hey, we could get rich off this AI artist, and people can just start coming to shows or that got something to do with AI or buying AI records. It's something in the universe that is happening that's going to flush that out for that to not be high on a percentage scale. Because once the entertainment business lose percentage scale, it's going to be flipped into personality, and therefore people, this person or a group of people, are not going to be in the common way of industry where you always in a place you don't belong. You only there because you're getting a check, and that's why you always in compromising situations. But it's going to pour more into people coming to see you and whatever you and your community can substantiate if y'all got a stage or if y'all got certain things or whatever the case may be. But it's going to be everybody coming to you if you even trying to do that type of thing, whatever. Because that's how concerts going to start being. It's going to start being where individuals in a part of the industry is the old world, and some new world industry that's being developed, people who are the most creative, God going to give them some type of thought and feeling that it's not safe or it doesn't even make sense to be traveling for your career. Now, you might decide to travel and stuff, but traveling might be on different purposes. Let's say you get lit off music. It might not make sense after 2027 to go on tour. Your tour might be how many dates everybody come to your area and whatever stage y'all set up there or whatever the case may be. It's going to be a whole bunch of concepts where the spirit just going to start to separate things. Like the old world, it might make sense to show up in different cities, but in the new world, you're going to look at it like, I'm putting my life on the line for a check, and there's other ways God showed me that I can get a check without my life being on the line. And if, let's say whoever owned the way we get a check, right? Let's say they start trying to be snarky, whoever owned the money, and they start to use that as another way of a person still having to get into the industry or whatever the case may be. God to create a situation where money won't be a thing no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's all on y'all humans. These are things y'all really can't control. You know what I'm saying? You could try to control it, and you're adding more fuel to the fire of your own personal circumstance. So, because God is putting everybody in a dip. Now, here's the thing. Me saying God and me saying all that, that's what make certain humans, especially if you a negative person, you like, oh, nah. I'm gonna be this entertainer. I when you experiencing a whole bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with God, just know you're seeing what I'm talking about. You're seeing a shift. It's gonna not be the same way you thought you can participate how it was before. So it get harder and harder and harder and harder. And don't put that on your spirit, because you wasting your time trying to uphold something that's changing when you could be spending more time developing what's could come to be. And I'm just giving y'all pointers. So you also gonna lose qualities. Let's say you already in the industry and you trying to be an influencer. If you don't live in the city you was born in, if you don't live in a place where you was born at, you're not going to be qualified. Because the only thing you're going to be able to justify is why you're like a colonist. Now, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just being real. You're going to be explaining, hey, I got to get away from my people so I can make this money and live somewhere I wasn't born. But let's say you're not European. That doesn't make sense for you, but that's just because you grew up in a cage or whatever the case may be. You really saying, hey, I'm open to just not have no culture. I'm open to not start nothing. I'm open to just being completely lost and institutionalized in my mind. And you're trying to make that make sense. But you're going to realize during 2027 and after, you're going to realize how that actually is the starting point of every ethnic group failure. You know what I'm saying? You're going to realize how I'm actually thinking and trying to describe. For an example, you could be a rapper right now, but you're starting to feel the weirdness of it. Let's say the F the Streets movement. And then you got people, a lot of people involved based off 21 Savage sparking that conversation, right? And let's say a person who said F the Streets gonna be like, they say something like G Herbal. Yeah, y'all hating. Now, I'm not telling G Herbal to crash out. I'm making another example based upon the same situation other stupid people trying to say he should have crashed out when dude threw the rakes up in his face. No, we're not talking. That's stupid. That's stupid stuff. We got to start thinking more spiritual. But for the most part, right, he said something like, yeah, y'all gonna be still hating and I'm gonna buy another house. But the thing is, your house ain't gonna be in Chicago. See what I'm saying? And everything you make up to say why that makes sense, it ain't gonna make sense in this new shift. Because it's really not nobody else's fault, but everybody in their community and their ethnic group fault that we can't get along. Or we had to do some colonist tactics. Leave your homeland and go to a different country, but in this case, city and state, and then do some money type of thing, right? And all the things you went through, yeah, we can justify why that makes sense. You're getting out of harm's way. But this is one of the reasons why in this new shift and this new industry, you might not be the most hottest. Now, I'm not talking about G Herbal. I'm just talking about where we're going. Everybody in these cities themselves that's comfortable still there, and you probably gonna, 9 times out of 10 you're broke, so you're already gonna be open to being the new creation of the industry because you can't go nowhere anyway. Yet the industry itself can't tap into this new world that it's all about people's location and personalities. And let's say you in the industry already, you done made money off your area, but you don't live there for these reasons that we could say make sense now, but 2027, the shift is completely over. You can't really be that person. You can't be that personality. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be like that person going to have to be the filtering system for you to uphold your old world industry for you to continue to make money. And you have to use this person as a filter from where you from, basically. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to be a situation where you can't speak for somewhere where you from, but you ain't at. And then people, especially 80 to 90% of the people who broke gonna use that as a motivation, use that as a challenge or whatever. Like this, why y'all should pay attention more to me other than this rapper, singer, or whatever, trying to slide back in or whatever the case. They wasn't doing this for here. They were, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be people who champion that, but it's about to be a whole pocket. We about to go through a new Chicago drill era. When Chief Keef was popping, we about to go through that again, just beyond music. When it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. We about to go through that again. That's exactly what we about to, it's because the free for all have went too long. So when you got individuals that figure something out and individuals that trying to figure something out or didn't know that was that to be, let the games begin. Because first it's going to be in-house helpings and battles. But that alone, built, depending on what the quality and the talent is, going to build the audience by itself. And before you know it, the DVD game going to be popping. They just got to have to do it over. When it comes to like Cocaine Cities, the Smack DVDs, you know what I'm saying? The Come Up DVDs and stuff like that. So if you already in the industry, you're going to see how it's hard to do that for you. And every time you have it with a narrative behind it, you get rejected before you even know that people seeing it that way. It's just God is stopping something for some reason because there's not enough regular people getting helped. There's not enough, we on an even playing ground, but maybe it might be too much manipulation going on. And God don't like ugly. So God is supporting those who help themselves. God is putting, and God is making everybody younger too. That's why that's why time is speeding up. Age is slowing down. So if you keep your health right and your hormones right now, you're going to look the same for the next 5 to 7 years right now. So it's important for if you up some age, like you up there in your 70s, 80s and stuff like that. This is that, whatever illnesses you got, don't spend time on that to be worse. You could stay right where you at and possibly get better and stuff like that. So start to look at the problems you already got. Like I'd rather have just that than anything else. And depending on how deep you in it and how close you is to God, God will put you in a better perspective where you actually start to get better no matter how old you are. You see what I'm saying? And that thing that you already are. And you be running around a grandparent, but still able to run around where we could see 15, 10, 20 years ago version grandparents and stuff like that couldn't do all that. You know what I'm saying? The arthritis was kicking in and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you want to put yourself in that perspective. But right now, we're going through a new shift. So it's almost like just by default, it's going to lessen the percentage scale of the AI concert ability to work. You know what I'm saying? And people not going to know why. Even the kids that's coming up under these things like leapfrogs and tablets and stuff like that. It's going to be, they're going to connect more with someone that's dealing with their upbringing and all they seen. All they seen was their tablet growing up and all they seen was this. So instead of a AI rapper, even if it ain't no concert, someone to like, this new generation A or what's after generation Z, generation Alpha or whatever, right? They going to be looking towards their peer groups and people who are a little bit older that got the same mind frame as them. Someone who sat in front of a tablet, not what they seen on a tablet. They're all seeing what we all seeing right now, AI. But whoever trying to get the kid's mind with the AI, with that check in their mind at the round table, like, yeah, if they can just like this remix of a song and their parents going to buy these records and stuff. They're getting away with it a little bit and stuff like that. But the way the things are shifting is almost going to be like, that's going to still lose quality, and it's going to be someone that's around their age or their peer group that's a new Soldier Boy or a new young female or whatever the case may be that had that certain lyric, have that certain technician, have that certain idea, HTML to make a MySpace, have that certain become a lawyer idea, whatever that's new, where they connect with them because they sat somewhere on the couch in front of a tablet all day too. So that makeup and that background creates actions and movements and the way you putting things together. So for the most part, someone gonna catch one. Someone gonna catch a hit like that. Someone catch, and then that's when we thought that something was gonna work that we're planning 2026 and from 2025 and 2024 actually takes the opposite direction. The AI person ain't gonna be able to work when you got this real person and they saying certain things in their lyrics that another kid, a young woman, or before they became a woman, a young girl or young boy, was sitting on their couch and the mind frame that they was in when they was on that tablet. And it's a certain lyric that they can pull from that, a certain creative another thing that can pull from that, certain website they may create from being in that certain pocket. And that's going to take the attention away from any AI sale or whatever the case may be. So that's where it's going from the kid perspective. You know what I'm saying? AI can't do that. AI ain't the hustler. Hey, AI have to be made after somebody do something. So just like how Soulja Boy came up with the Superman and know how everybody was in that time or whatever like that, it's gonna be somebody that come up with, whether they going to get something and throw away the tablet and go outside. We're going back outside. It's gonna be something like that. I'm telling you. Throw the tablet. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And that young woman or young man gonna be 15, 16, going on 17, and all the Gen Z right now gonna be looking at it and stuff like that. All the younger people gonna be looking at it and stuff, and then it's always like that. You can't stop it. Robot can't stop it. Nothing. Because it's human. Human got regular natural thoughts and actions and reactions to things and stuff like that. So eventually it's going to be that certain lyric, that certain action. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, when we're looking at the entertainment business, here's another reason. Here's another pointer why it's going to lose quality also. The influence magnitude has lessened up. So there's no star power. So, pardon me, y'all. The industry itself has no representation to match the bar of the influence that it once had and that it currently is like just losing to match the bar, to match the amount of money that something deserves. So inflation going to start being a real discussion behind closed doors in these buildings that we call the esoteric rooms you could go into and stuff like that. There's going to be real talks about, hey, what we're doing deserve this check 2025 and before, and we see how it was making us lose money from 2016 up to 2025. Now we in 2026, we in this limbo. 2027, hey, is these things even worth a 6-digit check? Is that stage we set this person on, is that worth a 7-digit check? Will we lose money, or do we have to figure out that's not the technique and figure out something else to make that look like that's deserved the 6-digit check, that deserved the 7-digit check, or whatever? These about to be, it had to be, unless y'all just trying to go broke before the industry disappeared. If you a person that run the industry right now, these are things you better think about. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you have to learn how to harvest. We're going through some type of weird time. If, let's say you are an artist and you already in the industry and you already signed your contract. So in the middle of this limbo tower moment. So let's say you signed the contract, so you got to put out this album, but you signed the contract between the year 2016, 2025. And let's say you have multiple albums, so you ain't done yet, or you just ain't put that out yet. Ooh. If you have got a check based upon the old world, 2016 and below in 2025, it is going to be no way, no action, no platform, no way in a foggy blizzard hell you're going to be able to even recoup that in this new shift. That's the point I'm trying to say. So let's say you signed the contract to put this album out 2024. So the optics look like you could get the 6-digit check for it, as far as the deal and all the things that the money has to go to make you look like something. The industry is along with the platforms too. The people who are getting paid to put you on a platform may also be a waste of money, may also not be the recoup. They have to infiltrate those numbers if it's on YouTube or whatever the case may be. Then, right, then it's going to be a situation where it's like, how do the label get the money back? Here they go tapping into your concert money. Here they go tapping into your merchandise money. Let's say you're a creator, so you ain't right? You stumble across a gold mine, but you still in this contract. You ain't Joe Button. You ain't free from no contract. So you stumble across something because you a creator, but you still in some situation you got to recoup. You think the bucket hats ain't get ready to put their eye on that too? You know what I'm saying? And you got to look at it like this. Damn, I just made a YouTube like everybody else, and it got monetized off my name. It got to get changed to my name / LLC. You can't even own that now. They got to get their dividends off that now and stuff. So now you think about like, damn, you're stuck. You're in like a spiritual debt in the old world, and the old world is in like a casket, and then we like in a new world right now. And if you can't fight your way out that casket, ooh, it's hard. The industry hard to get into. Nor is it one there. You're gonna have to create it. You see what I'm saying? Just like how we all created this podcaster thing, which ain't really podcasting, but this is what it seemed like everything to do. And once upon a time, if you was in the industry already on that side, you was looking at this like it was trash. It was something you was talking down on. It was something like you was just trying to motivate for people to talk about you. And while you be in your career that was still in the old world getting lit, that still had the importance behind it, that was worth to get talking about. That was worth to get talked about. Now it's not so much. Now, and shout out to all you celebrities and things of that nature that became one. I don't want to stop nobody's money and stuff like that. I'm just using this as an example to describe the world we in right now. Or y'all wouldn't have to do that, and we wouldn't have to do what we had to do for us to be lit. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's just, what do we do from here? And if we're breaking down where it's going, it's good to be aware of these things. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can have their 1-2. So everybody can take care of their family. So everybody can take care of their children. So everybody can put their friends and coworkers in positions and things of that nature, right? But you gotta be ahead of game before you experience it physically, because you too lost into the physical world and you don't want to add no spiritual concept to it. But yet we experience it whether you spiritual or not. A lot of things happen to you in a way that it normally happens physically that you can understand, but in these other pockets you can't understand, but you know it's just familiar enough because we all go through similar type things. You know we all got those type of pockets that we experience all the time. So I'm just a person that dive deep into that. So even if you, especially if you're a rapper right now, or a singer, comedian, do not care about, you should be putting so much work in right now without the government support or the industry support, aka inflating your views. Look at it like this. I got this name, but if I try to do something, I'm not getting these views, so let me not do something until I get a check or whatever. Get that out your mind. God look at that as ugly. How you think we lit? We didn't have no pressure. And our work alone is what allowing us to be in a position. Everybody is at a even stage right now. God needs you to clean your ugliness because it come with an ego a little bit. Who you think you are? We ain't in that world with that work anymore. You had a collection of humans to help you with that ideology and that foundation in that industry. So you need to be putting in work and hope you don't get a lot of views and stuff. All that work is going to play out as a phase where you the only person people care about. Once people go through these phases, and then one little human here realize, oh, this look like it's GMO. One little human realize that's A&I. One little human realize, oh, that's industry. One little human. Then all of that is getting ready to be your audience. All that is getting ready to be all that. Hey, why are we sleeping on this? All that get ready to be like, oh, this person been talking about that. No wonder they wouldn't get no views. All that, you know what I'm saying? And 10 views is better than 100,000, especially those fake ones. 10 strong people, these be, and let's say they even rich. But it's going to be inevitable. It's going to be everybody. You see what I'm saying? So you need to be placing yourself in a situation where you already got the look of you ain't got nothing to do with no industry backing or whatever the case. Because it's going to become distasteful to the consumer or the audience when they're an adult, or even a kid right now that feel like they're an adult, feel like they're being told something or being presented something through the layers of what we consider in narratives. God don't like narratives right now. God wants you to come genuine first, then God give you the strength and the power to make a narrative. God don't want you to start with a narrative because God cleansing in the reasonings behind things first. And if a person start with a narrative before their genuality, so it's disingenuous, the reasonings that ain't got nothing to do with what they're doing, God's still looking at those things. This person is trying to be seen a certain way. They're trying to get a monetary gain. They're trying to get a shortcut. They're trying. You see what I'm saying? And those things may not be things God like and dealing with that person. So that person may experience whatever that they're doing that they thought they was doing the 1-2 based off the manuscript and how they read it and how they was told and it worked in 2016 and all and stuff like that. They're going to be witnessing on their own path how the influence of that energy don't have the same quality, how the reaction ain't the same, how they not getting the same amount of maximum percentage scale out of it that went in their favor that they was doing previously. So that's personal journey. God has given us all personal walks. You know what I'm saying? We all got to learn for ourselves right now. We can't blame it on our gang, can't blame it on our cult, we can't blame it on our family, can't blame it on our friends, can't blame it on our co-workers. Can't do it right now. God looking at you like, but what have you cleansed? Well, why are you still ugly here? You know what I'm saying? And it's going to play out in the way that I just broke it down. Things that you was using with that ugly caricature, and it not coming across the same way or getting the same reciprocation that it was previously. So, and it's a self thing. Let's say you put yourself in the shoes of trying to do something to someone else and you're trying to create that scenario for them. Whatever you doing, that still happens for you. You ain't the objective for someone else that have their mind and their actions being developed from their own personal life and what they got going on. They don't have anything to going on with you. So whatever you got going on, that's what's being dealt with. You trying to add other people or whatever based upon you probably still need a roof over your head or whatever. You trying to get some money or whatever. But that's as far as you're going to go right now. But God don't like ugly. Understand that. Try not to be ugly right now in the spiritual world because God want to make something out of you. And you could be all you could be, like the army. You know what I'm saying? You could be all you could be as far as you ain't even know you was that funny and you created this new thing and we can't call it being a comedian. You ain't even know you was that smart and you become this new thing and it looks something like a teacher. You could become the best new construction worker, a new lawyer or whatever the case may be, and we can't even really call it a construction worker or call it a lawyer. So now even construction worker, you could be somewhere like a group of Mexicans getting hired because y'all put together a house in 6 hours or some shit like, or you could be a lawyer or stuff like that and start getting all these new what they call that, clients. Get all these new clients and stuff like that because of your way of thinking and how you presenting yourself that no other lawyer even spent the time to even get the idea to do, and still stressed out by the 1 or 2 little clients that they got and stuff like that and barely can handle those cases. So for the most part, this is the time you need to put yourself into these energies. There is something new going on that goes beyond something being able to be filtered through what we're calling the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry setup of how a person be filtered and presented through these things is having esoteric stones cast at it. Stones casted at it, and what an individual is willing to do to try to raise supreme or power utilizing their ego or their influence in that area is being looked at based upon what is your reasoning. And then for the most part, God is going to take it away because really, even if it's no one personally in your life taking it away, it's going to be something that you lose motivation for. So that's God taking that light from inside of you that you would have had and let it bend in and become motivation, and you're not going to be motivated to do it anymore. How does this play out in reality? Where you got a rapper or a singer who came up, or a comedian or a preacher who came up with the idea, hey, why be in front of these monkey faces and stuff like that, where I could go act like Kai Kanat and still get the same numbers and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Eventually gonna have battle rappers jump into that. Eventually gonna have everybody, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that from a negative energy. I'm just saying this where we going. You know what I'm saying? A rapper start justifying stuff real fast. They'd be like, oh yeah, I remember, because Tupac wasn't where he belonged. He was in Las Vegas. Biggie Smalls wasn't where he belonged. He was in California. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson wasn't where he belonged. He got his booty hole played with, and he was high off liquid morphine and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Gonna start when Dr. Dre had on that tight sweatsuit, Bill Cosby sweatsuit with makeup on with the Jerry curl. Then he ain't, you know what I'm saying? You start thinking he wasn't at the crib. So you start thinking real good. You start thinking, yeah, man, I don't know, man. Let's not to switch. You know what I'm saying? That's God talking to you. That's God talking to you. Think about all the rappers that ain't got shot. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, they got the Legum shots and all that stuff. Kodak Black. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sauce Walker. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Put it in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Ooh-wee. You know what I'm saying? Think about Fabulous and stuff like that. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? People getting shot all over the place and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. People start thinking real good after a while. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking real good. You don't want to deal with no monkey humans all the time and stuff like that. I'm telling you, people start thinking real good. You think people want to get up all the time? I think I overheard Michael Jackson say, I don't want a tour. I haven't heard him over say that one time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying something wrong with it, but look, when you do decide to do it, it'll be cherished too. Then y'all can slowly but surely start turning hip hop into how rock and roll artists and things of that nature get respected, where nobody want to hear that from no one else. No robot, no cosplayer, no one else. We don't care if you 80 years old. We got a couple $1 million because we want to come see you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you love that. Don't y'all want to do that? How you love that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all slightly trying to do that a little bit. A little bit. As long as y'all do it the right way. You got people that's almost doing that a little bit. Rappers and stuff like that. Name them stuff. But at the same time, you know, just put yourself in that perspective. But we're going in that time right now. And everybody gonna have to sit your butt down. Sit your eye down. Sit your eye down somewhere. You can't be running. Your spirit and your family and your spiritual lineage and stuff like that gonna be telling you, man, it's time to sit down. Stop running around. All these reasonings you're running around for come with other stuff. And then you'll be able to look back at other individuals that did it. You're just not on the side of the stuff that God getting ready to show you what it come with, that you're still in the same position where it could come to you that way. And you're going to start to see all the minds that's inside of bodies and the spirits that's inside of those minds and all the possibilities of just you being in reckless scenarios and stuff due to the fact of being out and about for nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful right now. This is a different type of time. You don't know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? All these humans is waking up to different type of things and stuff like that. So the thing you're a part of in the industry itself lose quality due to the fact of all the consumers or people that's watching or participants is going through some shift themselves. You know what I'm saying? This how you even see certain situations where you are artist and you go have to make club appearances and 1 out of every 5 club appearances is a hater or whatever the case may be. It's like this is what you deal with. You get tired of that and stuff like that. But you got to think about the mind frame this person in. Oh, my stuff should be bringing people to the club. So this person bringing all the bitches I like when I was in high school to the club. So when I go there, I better make sure I do something that everybody talking about me too. Or you know what I'm saying? Man, Lord knows what be going on in these people's head and stuff like that. And you in harm's way because you there for a check. And God should be teaching you more creative attributes to get a check in a better way. You know what I'm saying? Because even when it comes back to getting culture and stuff like that, you need time with your family, friends, your actual surroundings. So y'all can stop creating situations of all of us being in this new version reservation, the hood. And shout out to the actual reservations, but the hood and urban areas and stuff like that. We need to start creating a seed where it doesn't matter the ethnic group. If you part of a pocket and a community, there's some type of communion energy. Not some energies we go through and based off what's only there for us to attach to survive, it create a whole bunch of elephants in the rooms and animosities amongst each other. And if one person could get a lot of the colonist energy before someone else, then this what we have to justify as what's being good or successful. Like you made it out of the hood because you did the colonist tactics real good. You made the money, or you went to college, or you got the deal, or whatever the case may be. But we're never in a situation where it trickles down into where it counts. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a selfish individual thing going on. And there's too much being in this situation for years and years and years and centuries planned out that is justifications that can be played out in that world to be seen as positive, to not make it ever a case that we start shifting and placing it back in the natural world it's supposed to be in, so we can start interacting with each other the right way. Then once we're strong and bonded up and stuff like that, everything else just falls in the lap. As far as y'all think it's hard to create an industry amongst yourselves, it's not. Y'all think it's hard to not have violence and all have a position and be like a militia or whatever, where it's not about violence, it's about each order and position. You got this person, you got this knight, you got this king, you got this queen, based off who's keeping things in order with all the musicians in the community, who's keeping things in order with all the car car mechanics in the community? Who keeping things in order with all the technicians in the community? Who keeping things in order with all the construction workers in the community? The community is so tight, you ain't paying for housing at that point if you already got a community full of construction workers, and then y'all only getting paid to help others and others' community build. You already in a community where your house is built, so anything that you do, as far as, let's say, if you in the health, you do free because you're getting paid from either the government or other individuals that ain't part of the community to do those same practices and stuff. Like, y'all community becomes so strong, it's an industry also. You know what I'm saying? Y'all clothings that y'all make, y'all fabrics that y'all make. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it like this. What make you think China is doing anything different? It's just trading worldwide. The Native Americans was trading worldwide back in the day. They just, Europeans just took it over and stuff like that. But for the most part, this is when the industries have started to get created. And this is what the whole concept of the old world coming into the new world mean. Spiritually, religious-wise, and material-wise, and stuff like that. So the new world is just, you're coming over here, it's more fish over here, more minerals and stuff like that, and water. So it's just, you know what I'm saying, world trade around that. So who's ever in the positions of world trade, this is the only people we talking about is billionaires or people a part of people lineages who think they own stuff or whatever the case may be. But it's just people who are associated with world trade or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And you have a small pocket of them being bored. And so you see a lot of folliness. So this is what y'all consider and what y'all want to claim as Illuminati or Masonry or whatever, or the part of the families like the Rothschilds or whatever, where a lot of times they don't even be involved in that, especially the younger ones. This be like small little cults in colleges and stuff like that, that then they get older and stuff, and it's a way to mind manipulate still, and you could create fear without actually having to do it in action. But at the same time, it's just a lot of these things, there's a lot of the circumstances when it comes to the industries itself, right? The main energy to participate itself lose influence or whatever. And when people are trying to strive for their own circumstances, right, this is going to be where the influences actually come from. And it's not even the term influence. It's going to have to be called something else, because really there's no such thing as influence. You can't influence no one else unless you got something or you're doing something that they either want to do or something that's a necessity to their sleeping quality or roof over their head. If it ain't got nothing to do with that, a person is not, or bribery, a person is not going to be. Now, entertainment is different. A person could be entertained by what you do. Yeah, a person could be entertained by watching Set It Off, Jada Pinkins and Queen Latifah and Vivica Fox all they want and all she want and things of that nature. That don't mean that she gonna rob a bank, because she know that there's possibilities to go to jail. So just because she might become a musician and start making songs about robbing a bank, that is just entertainment or whatever the case may be. She didn't actually rob a bank. She just doing something because it looked like that's something you can do to make some money. If it ain't robbing a bank lyrics, it's drill lyrics. If it ain't acting or being an actress for a bank robbing movie or whatever the case may be, that's this act. That was what was higher on a percentage scale was Vivica Fox, Jada Pinkins, and Queen Latifah getting a check. What was higher on a percentage scale is the drill rapper getting a check and being in some type of spotlight. Not what they're actually doing. So that's what we get confused also, and I think that's where handlers get confused when they start to use their artists or actors and actresses to be pushed out as a narrative, and then they get their spiritual ass beat like we seen Terrence Howard did with them patents and stuff like that. So him and his handlers got to figure out how he gonna be in the next movie that ain't gonna be on straight to Netflix or Tubi. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like that, and that's nobody's fault. It ain't me. It wasn't other content creators. It's just some other thing going on. And if you with God, you'll be able to get a better understanding. And I'm an example of that. I'm a person that consider themselves with God. So for the most part, I'm trying to have an understanding about what I'm experiencing before I even get online. Just my personal life. So if I can understand something for myself, I can filter it through many ladders, steps, many footprints in the sand, many backgrounds, many other people walks of life, and put out a general concept of where we may be all going as a direction, but in your own little pocket, how you may see it and what it may develop as your personal experiences or whatever the case may be. And my job is done. That's all I'm here to do, and I go about my own business and develop some more creativity God want to give me, and that's what everybody should do. We have a time that we all come together, and we have a time we all need our own space. And if we confuse that, it'll be a time you need your own space, you with others. Now you create frustration, animosity, victimhood energies and stuff like that. Then it'll be times that you're supposed to be with others, but you spending it with your own space, your own time. And that'd be times that you're going to lead to you that person that need help, but you don't know how to ask for it because of all that ego you was expressing, or all that other type of situation where you feel alone, but you're still around a million people, or all that other situation where you making matters worse for yourself. It ain't got to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So these is things that we all going to get ready to experience. There's a time that we all got to need to be alone, get that spiritual peace. And there's a time, and if you're in a relationship, it's important for y'all to know that, because you might have learned how to be in a relationship beyond it just supposed to be a spiritual shit. So the relationship is constructed from like what we have learned on TV and generalizing when I use the term Walt Disney and stuff like that, right? So you think when you're in a relationship or a marriage, there's certain foundations that's the old world that may not work currently and things of that nature if you don't transmute it into a spiritual shit. What do I mean by that? The spirit understand tit for tat energies start from other areas. When the spirit is just smothered at the moment and it ain't even no negative or positive, good or bad perspective in the spiritual world, it start to condense and play out as that. And in areas that the things y'all connected on, y'all start to fight with that. And you didn't even know you was going to be frustrated at this person putting their feet on the coffee table. Now you are and stuff. Little tip. And then now it might be a situation where y'all create a bridge burner and y'all can't come back. It's a bridge burner situation. If you understand it's a spiritual ship beyond just that other gender relationship, all your qualities, siblingships, partnerships and business ships and things of that nature that you got with your partnerships, you got with business or whatever, it's going to be the same like your relationship, right? So for the most part, the spirit need time alone or some space. So when you know that, now you're creating more of a spiritual shit, because y'all know when y'all get ready to get that tit for tat frustrating area where y'all thought forms is connected too much because y'all sharing the same space, y'all know it's time to go ahead and separate for a little bit. And I ain't talking about days or weeks. So for the most part, when you create scenarios where there's places to separate, you find ways to know that. So y'all end up doing it where it's not even extreme. Y'all could do it in the same house. You just be in that room, another person be in that room, or mentally. Oh, we know we getting to that point. Or a situation where y'all know it's time to separate, so y'all create circumstances for that. No matter the time frame it needs to be. Here's the thing. When the spirit is aware of doing something, it always needs to be fulfilled. So when you are aware that you need to do something that you ain't doing yet, but you're planning to do it, but the situation ain't playing out yet, there's a sense of that idea, and ideas, thoughts bend in and become fleshly fluids. Before it's a fleshly fluid, it play out to the spirit experience as a fulfillment. Before it's experienced as a fulfillment of accumulation. What does that mean? If the spirit is always in search for to be fulfilled, it's going to play out in areas where something you're getting prepared for, the awareness is what's becoming substance. It's going to play out as a form of fulfillment, even in areas where the subject matter don't got nothing to do with fulfillment. When those situations of tit for tat happens, y'all both as spirits going to challenge each other to not even do that. Y'all going to be like, oh, we reaching that time for tit for tat. And since you already got that awareness substance there, it's transmuted on more on a positive lens on the spiritual world. It's going to be something like, oh yeah, it's our time to separate. We don't even need to separate. So now fights don't even be extreme no more. Those times that the average individual relationships and people go through those tit for tats, that they don't know how they got there. Not only as y'all spirits, y'all know how y'all get there. Y'all got things set up to prevent it going to the extreme. That alone adds awareness. When you're aware of something, y'all added mentality in both of y'all spiritual forms that has something to do with aware of that. So the awareness alone play out as a fulfillment with all the other stuff. So you might not even need to do the second layers, because your spirit create the mind create the body create the physical retributes. You might not even have to access the physical and what the physical attributes made. Those places that you can go in to separate when that space needed. Because y'all so spiritual, y'all can just deal with y'all first mind body. Or we get ready to reach those situations where the physical and the things that we have created, if we do reach that extreme, so we don't separate and we reach that tit for tat, we get ready to reach that point, we ain't even got to do that. So now y'all spirit so strong, y'all able to share the same space when both y'all minds is going through that, both y'all separate phases, but sharing the same space, y'all mind is connected. So one positive may hit the other person negative, and then y'all start to cancel each other out and spark negative tit for tat with each other. Y'all know how to deal with that as spirits, so that energy that's accumulating from that don't bend in as the physical representations that lead into the external things that the physical representation created that lead y'all into tit for tat arguments. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand that as a spirit and stuff like that, and you start relationships on that end, you in a cold ass relationship, because can't nobody break y'all apart. Y'all doing the only breaking apart, and that breaking apart from the physical lens ain't the breaking apart in the spiritual lens. So people ain't even gonna be able to understand y'all even when y'all going through those little phases, because y'all doing the spiritual work that God taught y'all how to stick together. You know what I'm saying? So y'all minds, y'all first bodies that both of y'all souls in is sticking together as a spirit. Both of y'all souls, y'all mind is sticking together. Your mind ain't the spirit, or it's sticking together, and then y'all adrenaline when it bends in into the physical and the external things that y'all at, even if y'all in different locations, right? Y'all still won't go too far. That'll create a bridge burner situations. Y'all still won't go too far. That'll create too much distance between y'all in that middle. And whatever y'all got grounded in the physical, the spirits are always able to jump back in their first body spaceships and go right back to that in the physical, because it wasn't too much tit for tat to separate, and the things that y'all was substantiating y'all selves on to feel comfortable with y'all conveniences and taking care of y'all bills or whatever, or y'all children if y'all got them. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So like I said, we're going through a new shift right now, and it's going to lead from the entertainment and it lead into personality, and it's going to be up to the personalities to call whatever that they doing, and it's going to be creative, but the industry going to have to find some way around that. And that's where we're going in 2027. You know what I'm saying? So you could be a person that's trying to fight to uphold some type of industry, and be on the negative side of things and start to place yourself more in a hole where it's impossible to recoup based on even believing it. You might even got a handler that believe in it. No, we're going to get this to work. My ancestors working through me, and my lineage still here, own that company, own this, that, and third. No, we're going to do something to make it work. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Then they might still believe in this. What you get ready to do is worth 6 digits and 7 digits. Then that's where they're going to realize what I'm talking about is right. And then you going to be in a position being an artist or the music, the movie actor or actress or the construction worker or lawyer, then you gonna be in this position like, dang, I gotta switch up on something new. And depending on how far of a hole you dug yourself deep in, whatever you allowed your handlers or your people or your circle to tell you, that's how much that you gonna go in a hole. And then in this new shift, you might stumble across some new gold that you can't even reap the full benefits of, because you got to use it for the recoup. Be careful what you involve yourself in and what you're using your character and what you're signing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because stuff what I just said could be things that happen this year, next week. It could be something that you think lit because it got a lot of virtue signaling and energy this week. It might look like it's worth that 5-digit check, and you get it this week, and it don't even go in the direction it's supposed to go by the plans of the optics of it next week. Then you might owe this thing or this person or this corporation or this favor a few more times so it can kind of bubble up. And then for the most, or double up or triple up. So you can recoup it in this friendly new online way. Then it might be another podcast that just get lit out of nowhere, or another thing that just jumped in the algorithm out of nowhere. And you can't jump on that because you got to do that previous thing. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing. Let's say if you got a page and the contract was with someone else on their page, and something was so lit that, man, you could have said all that on your page and got the same views, but you didn't got this check, right? That now don't even seem like it's the recoup, but it's the check that they was already paying you, $1,200, $1,500, $800, $500 for the interview, for something that's so lit, and you talking about it is just on their page, and they get ready to get a couple hundred, get close to 100,000 off of it. And then now you about to start thinking like, oh, nah, I could have caught that algorithm wave on my page. You know what I'm saying? What about my fraud? I'm telling you, it's deep. Hey, this the new Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? It's mental war though. If you still lost in the old world and you think physical tactics, you lost in the sauce. You retarded. Don't even use too much physical tactics if you got access. Like, you know how certain people in the industry, let's use the music industry for an example. You might be a rapper or a singer or a radio exec, and it's another radio exec or another artist. And based upon what y'all got going on, and let's say it just so happened that year, your radio station hotter. You doing all kind of forms of nepotism and stuff like that. You know you is. You know what I'm saying? That's God don't like ugly at this time. God already created some circumstances out of your hands anyway. The moment you even try to do that, it's gonna be some other door, some other access. Somebody, this person know that ain't nobody know that person was about to get lit, and all of a sudden get lit. Now this person got a whole shortcut to destroy you if they want to, because you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted to be a little evil. Because you wanted to be a little evil. You know what I'm saying? So don't be evil right now. God watching everybody. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flight Boss, did you know? For sure. You're not listening to the Man of Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I'm going to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Erect the swat, him hold that yellow hoop. Massasoit, mama the toy. Hit on the better that, go for that. Erect the swat. Get the Massasaki. We jumpy.